Welcome to the TPS reports. We're here. We're back. The three of us, the original three, the OGs, Justin,
Brandon.
and over there,
I'm ready. I'm Pat.
we got Pat. We're ready. This is going to be a fun show. Guys. It's been a while. We're talking about April 19th, 2025. We were at Fast Action Billiards up in Statesville. We had a $1,000 added non-ball event. 32 players. Oh my goodness, what a field. It was a great field. We paid out a total of $4,260. It's pretty incredible for a 32 player one-day event. Let me go ahead and read off our sponsors, and then I'll get these two guys' overall thoughts on the tournament. We were sponsored by Deadstroke Media. That's Pat Dixon, who was there, commentated, played, did all the fun stuff. Inkwell Design, JC Riggs, making another awesome trophy. One lucky person got to go home with it. We'll talk about that shortly. Roundabout Grill, they sponsor us once again. Definitely go get some breakfast or lunch from them one day if you're in that area. Portico Licensed General Contractors, Corey, we definitely appreciate you being a sponsor. Pool Doctors, Josh Mullenix, always appreciate them sponsoring us. Branded, Mike Staney's company, always appreciate him sponsoring. He's a great guy, great company. Obviously, Fast Action themselves is one of our sponsors. Thank you for them for letting us be there. TKO Custom Cues, the Kirk Overcash, one of the best looking cues on the market right now. Alpha Installations, Rhett, we definitely miss you. Come back and play. I know he's been super busy with work, so obviously if you need something done, it might not be soon, but it'll be a great job when he does it. Last but not least, Supreme Cues, Sean B., who's been at every event almost this year, definitely a proud supporter of us, and we appreciate him doing his thing. I got one of his jump cues. They're amazing. Supreme Cues, highly recommend them. That was all our sponsors this time. Let's cut it over to Pat and see what he thought about the tournament at Fast Action Billiards.
Fantastic tournament, man. This was what we were due for the longest tournament of all time. Okay, we've been making real good time at every tournament we've been through so far this year, and it felt like they were getting shorter and shorter actually until this one. But it's just a testament to how much or the high skill level of players that we had competing at the very end, fighting tooth and nail to ultimately take home that trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon, you got to watch from home or from work because you were probably
both.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on our Fast Action tournament?
My thoughts are, if there's a tournament of Fast Action, Clint Clark is going to take the longest possible way he can to the finals every time he plays. That's just, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to book it from here on out. And it's fun to watch every single time. Mike Davis, you just keep doing the thing over and over again. But at least this time, for the most part, it was interesting the whole way there. And my favorite match of the whole tournament, you might not expect. We'll get into that here in a little bit.
All right.
But overall, great tournament, great action, fun to watch, great commentary, very funny commentary. Good job, y'all. And take it from there.
Yeah, so it was our 6th points event of the year. Remember, we are having 20 events this season. After those 20, then we get the Tour Championship, top 64. And here are the results from the Fast Action tournament. The top 8, I'll start with number 1 and work our way down. First place, Mike Davis, 3rd win of the year, 3 out of 6. Second place, Clint Clark. That's 2 out of 3 tournaments at Fast Action that he's been in the finals. Third place, Hank Powell, back in the top 4 where he belongs, pretty much where he stayed all of last year. Fourth place, Jazz McConney, cashed in all 3 events that he's played in this year. Fifth, sixth, Larry Damn Hughes and Ronald the Botman Bot. 2 super good players. Obviously, they're used to being in the cash in the pool series. 7th, 8th, Lucky Luciano making his first appearance on the cash list. And Christopher Brower, who is becoming a mainstay in the money now. Let's cut over to Brandon and see where he wants to start with that list of 8 players.
Let's start with Lucky Luciano because out of everybody that made the money, he's probably the least favored, obviously, to get there. He played great all day. He deserved everything he got, and I'm happy for him. Well done, Lucky. That was a tough field, too. So to get through that and actually get into the cash is really strong.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy for Lucky. It's only the second time he's played in one of our events, and he beat some pretty decent players. I mean, he lost his first round also and worked his way all the way back to the money. So definitely took the hard route to get there. But yeah, Lucky, I mean, Lucky's actually a pretty good player. I didn't realize that he was quite that good. Pat, what's your thoughts on Lucky?
That's my guy. Whenever I had a different job some time ago, I was up there at Rackham a lot, especially during the day. Um, and I would always run into Lucky and I would play him. So it's surprising, but it's not because I've gotten the best of Lucky, I've gotten the worst of Lucky. I know that he's a better shooter than what his Fargo shows. So hats off to him, man. I'm so glad that he got into the money that he broke through. If he comes out and he plays in more pool series events, you will see his name in the money a lot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he has the skills to be up there in the money. His Fargo only being 524 is super low for where he's at. Uh, Pat, I mean, who's the one player out of the cash guys that sticks out to you?
The one player that's Lucky.
Well, I
It's
mean,
Lucky. I feel like
yeah, Lucky definitely. I mean, he's definitely the star of the show. I almost would have liked if he would have just continued on. I think he ended up getting eliminated by Clint Clark, who, as Brandon said, he's going to take the hardest path. Lost second round, worked his way all the way back to second place. Very reminiscent of the first time we were there when he lost first round and came back and won. So maybe Clint just liked grinding through the B side of the field.
Guess he just loves playing on his own tables as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, I guess, well, maybe he just doesn't want to do any work that day because being part owner, being part owner at Fast Action, he knows when he's not playing, he has to do work. So maybe he just wants to play as much as he can. Next up, we got Hank Powell is the one that I kind of want to talk about. We've kind of missed him this year. Haven't really seen him up there as much. Last year he went on a spell where it was 6 straight tournaments where he was top 4. We just haven't really seen him play as much this year, but I think he reminded us all that he is one of the best players on the Pool Series tour, and he should be pretty much, favored to be a top 3 or 4 finisher every time. Pat, what do you think about Hank getting 3rd place?
I think you said it before when you were kind of going through the top 8. It's where he belongs, right? In the toughest field, if Hank's not in the money and the higher part of the monies as well, it's a surprising thing. It's notable, and he looked relaxed throughout the whole day. Not that he never looks or that he ever looks any different, but that day he looked relaxed. He looked well rested. He looked like he was having a good time, having good conversation with the folks around him. He was enjoying the matches. Most notably when he was struggling. When he was struggling through some racks, him and Clint early on, I think in the first match that they had, I think he might have won 2-1 against Clint to send him over to the B side. But even in that match, when he had some early struggles, it didn't. You would look over at him and you could tell like it's not really phasing him that much. Like he had a very short memory. So really good to see him get there. I'm waiting on that win though.
Yeah.
At this point for him, it's a win. That's what I'm looking for now. If he's not in the money, it's a shock. But if he's getting 4th place, 3rd place, anything like that, I'm not. He needs a trophy at this point. He's like Clay Davis in 2024 or 2023, whatever that year was, where we were all waiting on him to get over the hump. Now I'm waiting on Hank to get over the hump.
Yes, absolutely. I'm waiting for him to get over the hump as well. Brandon, I want to ask you something about Mike Davis, who won. Like I said, it was his 3rd win of the year. He's played all 6 events, so he's 50% right now on winning. Are we about to see like a, Golden State Warriors 73-9 season here? Like, I mean, are we about to witness something crazy?
Almost, because I feel like, just depending on who's there, of course, the difference there is Golden State couldn't finish the job. 73-9, great season. Golden State didn't finish the job. And I don't think that'll be the case. I think when you get down to the final 64, I think the best guy's going to win.
Yeah, it will not be the case because the Pool Series committee will not screw over the top team, top player like Adam Silver did. Pat, what do we think about Chris Brower all of a sudden being just a mainstay in the money? I mean, we've witnessed him, struggle early on in the Pool Series when he first started playing, and now, now this is something like 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 5 tournaments where he's cashed. What's your thoughts on Chris Brower, Pat?
I'm confused about him, if I'm being honest, because I can't see a difference between a well-rested Chris Brower and a very tired Chris Brower. He got into the money, I think, when we were at Smoking Cube most
Yep.
recently.
He won
Correct? What did he finish?
4th place. Yeah.
He got fourth place, and he was saying how exhausted he was, and it was noticeable too. We were talking about how he was running on fumes in that last match. He was ready to just dial it in. He got fourth
Yep.
place. He was going to be okay with it. I think he was up since like 4 o'clock that morning. This tournament, he was a lot more well rested, right? Vigor was up, and he gets 7th and 8th. So it's confusing. I think we've always agreed that he's one of those guys that should be in the money. It's never a surprise if he's there, but it's always a surprise if he's not. He always makes our list of like 3 guys that we felt like should have been in the money. So I want to see more from Chris. I want to see more money finishes, maybe him consistently being somewhere closer to like 5th, 6th, and 4th place. I think it is in a field like this, that's where I project him to be. So he's a bit confusing for me right now, man.
He does got a confusing game. I also cannot tell if he's maybe one of the top 4 or 5 guys in the tournament, or maybe if he's just somewhere in the middle of the pack. But it is definitely fun to watch him play, and obviously I'm cheering for him along the way. Brandon, I want to know what your thoughts on Dame Larry Hughes. We haven't seen him in a while. He pops up out of nowhere, gets 5th place, looks pretty strong in the tournament. I mean, what do you think about Larry?
Consistent.
Yeah.
I don't think there might be one that I'm not thinking about, but every single time I see Larry come to the tournaments, he's always in the money. He's always in the top 5, top 6. Maybe 1 or 2 that I've been around that he didn't get in the money, but he's more consistent. I love his pace of play when he's on.
Super fast.
He's the fastest guy I know.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's like Prefontaine running the mile run over there. Y'all like that reference there? Huh?
He reminds me of Luke Salvis in a lot of ways.
I don't know that.
Both lefties.
I don't know.
I'll look him up.
All right.
So he's fun to watch, and he's a great player.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, to play that fast and be that focused, that's a talent all in itself.
Absolutely. He actually did not cash in the only other event he played this year, which was at Brest at the first tournament of the year. Yeah, Larry's a great player. I wish that he would come and play more often. It's always fun when he's around. He's a cool guy. Getting 5th, 6th was definitely no surprise. Let's talk about the guy that finished right above him, though, in 4th place. Pat, I want to get your thoughts on this kid because you were there front and center. Jazz McConney getting 4th place. That's 3 straight cashes in the pool series for him. I mean, are we about to witness, like, the next up-and-comer? Like, are we going to see him going from, like, oh, this kid's making the money to, maybe how long before he starts becoming that's the guy that's winning the event?
I think it's going to be, how do I want to phrase this? I think that's going to happen a lot quicker than we realize.
Yeah.
And I also don't know if he realizes just how talented he really is at this age. It's actually pretty scary how good that kid is right now for his age and how far he's going to be able to go if he decides that he wants to stick with it and really put his all, his focus, his energy into the game of pool. I mean, literally talking about Mosconi level talent, Mosconi winning champion. He's got a lot of potential to go down as one of the better players of his generation. I think that's the skill level we're seeing that with him right now.
I agree completely. I think he's got potential to be one of the top 10 players in the country for the next, whenever he gets there, give him 5 years. 5 years from now, probably for the next like 15 to 20 years, I think he could be top 10, top 20 player in the country. It's going to be super fun. I enjoy him coming around as well. His enthusiasm for the game is just incredible. Really becoming a super huge fan of the kid. Let's move on to some of the players that did not cash. I got 3 that I wrote down that maybe we can kind of talk about really quick, and then y'all can tell me if we forgot anybody. First up, William Wood. I know he didn't, we don't necessarily really maybe expect Woody to cash, but I just want to give him a shout out. He did win his first round. First time ever he won the first round of the event. He has won a few on the loser side, but first time ever he wins first round. He beat Chris Balcom. Kind of had a rough draw on loser side next round playing Renal. Also, Bruce Campbell came to play. The first time we've seen him this year. Surprisingly, he also only finished 17th. He's a guy that I thought maybe could cash. And then Lisa Cassette came and played. First time we've seen her all year. Another player that I thought could make a run because she's super talented. Won the U.S. Amateur Ladies event a couple years ago. Plays a lot at Smoking Q. I thought maybe she could cash, but sadly, maybe she just had a tough draw or a bad day, but didn't quite get there. Pat, I mean, do you got anything to say about those three guys or Lady, or do you got want to talk about somebody else?
No, I agree. I like all three of those. I think the one that stood out to me, I'll give you two. One of them was Kevin Candido. I
Yeah,
thought that he was going to get back into the money again because he had a really good showing at Smoking Q. And usually when he comes out, he usually has a good showing. Kevin's a good player.
yeah,
And then the other guy I was going to say was Jeff Howe. I think he just ended up having like a real tough draw, accompanied with maybe some errors in him. I didn't really see how he played, but for him to go 2-0, that's going to raise some eyebrows a bit. If not in the money, at least 9 through 12. Like I never expect him to go 2-0 in one of our tournaments.
absolutely. I totally agree with that. Jeff did have a bad day. Brandon, I mean, what about the people that we've talked about so far, or is there somebody else that we're forgetting?
Definitely somebody else you're forgetting
Okay.
for sure. Thomas Sansone.
Yeah,
Thomas has a very good game. Thomas moves the cue ball well. When he's really in it, he's really feeling it. He definitely looks like a field kind of player. When he gets in it, he is just really tough. He can run out from anywhere. That was my favorite match of the whole day, him and Jazz McConney going down the way that it did. He is definitely one. And I would absolutely agree with what Pat said about Kevin Candido for sure. I've played enough with Kevin to know how good he is. And, one of these days, I mean, he's had a top 3 one time already, hadn't he?
Kevin
Not
Candido.
this year.
Yeah, he did last year. Yeah,
This is the
Yep.
type of guy you can see getting multiple top 4 finishes. I really believe that. But so is Thomas Sansone. So if he comes back and plays more, I'm sure we're going to see cashes out of both those guys, but especially Thomas.
absolutely. I think all the people that we talked about just now, I think either probably should be in the money most of the times they play, or will soon be, in the money, and maybe next time they play, we'll get to see them there. Let's move on and talk about some of the matches that were on the stream, because I think we had some really good matches here. First round, we had 2 matchups in the first round on the stream. We had Hank Powell beating Brian Francis 2-0, and we had Renal Bott beating Chris Brower 2-0. So neither match went to a third set, but still, I think 2 pretty good matches. I enjoyed watching both of them. I think all 4 players are really good. I think, honestly, both matches on paper are not that far apart. It was kind of surprising that neither one went to a third set. Let's start off with you, Brandon. What did you think about those 2 matchups?
The Chris Brower Renal Bott match was a great match to watch.
Yes.
I watched about 95% of that one. Chris had some openings, and
Yep.
I mean, I was talking to him throughout the day, so I mean, it's nothing he doesn't already know.
So you were distracting him.
Very much.
Okay.
No, I did not talk to him while he was playing, before and after. But he had some opportunities, but overall he played well, and this was not Renal's best day.
No.
It really was not. The shot selection that he was doing, some of the just lack of consistency in his shots was mind blowing, but it was still good enough to get him all the way to 5th, 6th. So, but that was a great match to watch, and so was the Hank and Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brian didn't get a lot of good rolls on that, but Hank was also playing well too.
Hank started off very well in that matchup. Pat, what did you think about those 2 matches, man? You commentated all of Brian and Hank, I believe, right?
Yeah, I did. I commentated all of that one, and then I went up to go play when Renal and Chris Brower's match started. I think I might have got in like a word in that game, and then switched out once Brian got off the table. But I think Brandon's exactly right. At least with Hank and Brian's match, Hank came just real strong. It seemed like he was just ready to go. Warming up with him, well, I didn't warm up with him, but seeing him warm up in practice, you could already tell it was going to be a great day. I know we're going to talk about him in a little bit, but Clint Clark, when he was warming up, I thought he was going to win that whole thing. It was nuts. But yeah, great first round match, and it's one of those things. It's hard for us to get a bad match on stream these days, man. These guys that are coming out and playing with us, all good players, love watching them play, and a lot of different styles as well. So good stuff.
Yeah, and I think Chris Brower, both his losses were to Renal, so that guy, he just can't seem to get away from him. I think Renal's beating him it's got to be 5+ times in our tournament now. Second round winner side, we also had 2 matches. We had Mike Davis winning 2-0 against Bruce Campbell, and then you had Hank Powell winning in a third set against Clint Clark. Also 2 really good matchups. Also, four great players. I think both matches were actually exciting. I think Mike and Bruce was actually a really good match. Clinton and Hank was a super fun match. And I think those two guys they're putting on a show every time they get to the table against each other. Pat, we'll start off with you. I mean, what's your thoughts on either one of those matchups?
I think the one that sticks out to me the most is Hank beating Clint Clark 2-1. I think that match deserves to go to a third set with the skill level that those guys play at. If you would have told me that Clint Clark beat Hank Powell 2-0, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would have asked you like what actually happened in the match, because with the format that we have, you can see a lot of 2-0s and it'll look like somebody got dominated, but you don't know what happened in those sets, you know? So it's not surprising that the turnout happened the way that it did, but definitely I feel an upset for Hank to get that match. I think Hank is one of those players where his game improves as the night goes on, but the level of play from his start to when he's at his peak is a lot closer than, say, a Clint Clark or a Mike Davis. The way that they start off and then their peak as they get deeper into the tournament, they find that extra gear that I don't think Hank has been able to find as of yet to really get over that hump. I know I'm talking about like a match down the road with him playing Clint Clark again and losing, but it's just something that sticks out with me about Hank. I'm not surprised that he wins this match early on. Clint's going to get better as the night gets longer, and Hank's going to be much better earlier in the evening.
I agree. I agree with that completely. Brandon, what's your thoughts on our second round matches?
I mean, Clint and Hank was just a tale of two different halves. Clint came out on fire, won the first set 3-0.
Yeah.
And then Hank pretty much did the same thing to him, second set 3-1.
Yeah.
And then they just nip and tuck all the way to the end. And then Clint made that one mistake and gave Hank an opportunity. You know, just that was a coin flip. I mean, I almost feel like any time they play, I'm going to give Clint a slight edge, but it's still closer to a coin flip. Almost like a 55-45 kind of scenario.
I think it's one of the better matchups that we get in the pool series.
And I feel like you're going to get that in a final here eventually.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah, we've seen it close to the finals, but not yet in the finals.
And not if, but when Hank gets his first trophy. I just want to go out and say that right now. We watched Clay do it. We watched Renal go through it. It's going to be his time next. He's going to get that coveted trophy. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be this year.
I would be happy to hand him a trophy at the end of one of these events. Yes. Third round winner's side. Once again, two matchups here. We had Jazz McConney beating Thomas Sansone in the third set, and Hank Powell beating Ronald Bott in the third set. So both these matchups go third set. Hank with his third straight super tough opponent here. Brian Francis, Clint Clark, Ronald Bott. Beating all of them. You thought maybe this would be the one where he trips up because, it's hard to win three in a row like that. And then Jazz and Thomas actually, I think, was one of the best matchups. Both players struggled a little bit. Both players played really good at times. And it ended up going down to the wire. I think that was a super great matchup. I think that's a pretty even matchup as well. Just like I think Hank and Renal is a tough, pretty even matchup. Hank's actually beaten Renal like the last couple of times they're played, I do believe now. So, Pat, let's start off with you, man. What did you think about the third round winner side?
Anytime Hank and Renal are playing against each other, you want to get a front row seat with some popcorn ready, man. It's going to be a good match no matter what. Between those two, the Jazz McConney and Thomas Sansone, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Sansone, my man. That match sticks out to me a little bit more because, just like you said, it was a grind all the way to the finish. And ironically, it was the young kid who I think did a better job of keeping his composure, and that's what allowed him to win that match. Thomas, there were some ill rolls that Thomas was getting if Jazz were to miss, and he was expressing his frustration verbally a few times as the match went on, and you could see on the other side, if Jazz was making a mistake or something like that, there was a lot less frustration being shown. He just kind of went back to his chair, very composed. And I think that composure, which is crazy maturity for that kid's age, is what pushed him forward. So I really enjoyed watching that match, just from not even watching the table, just looking at the two guys and how they were projecting themselves in that last set. was really nice to watch.
Yes, it was definitely a tale of two separate mental games there. Brandon, what do you think about those two matches?
The last of the Thomas Sansone and Jazz McConney match, the last rack of the match is what made it all worth it. You did not know who was going to win until Jazz landed on that 9-ball the way he did. Thomas kind of left himself a rough cut on that 7, a shot you don't really want to shoot. You should make it, but you still don't want to shoot it. And he literally did everything but make it in the hole. And then Jazz played some real bad position on the 8, but he hit an absolute dart to get himself dead on the 9. So I'm going to give Jazz a hand clap on that, because that was a really pressure situation after the 7 was in there so deep. He had no choice but to almost leave himself bad. So, I mean, that's how Thomas left it in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Renal and Hank, I mean, just every single time I catch them, I'm like, okay, who's going to make the mistake? Because it's not who's going to be the offensive weapon, because they both have such great games. I think Renal's is maybe a little bit better on the safety side. But the way Hank was playing, I mean, he had already beat Brian. He had already beat Clint. I mean, that was the most battle-tested guy throughout the whole tournament.
Absolutely. He really was. And next we got to the Final Four winner side, where we have two fantastic matchups, I think for two different reasons. First, you had Mike Davis winning in the third set against Jazz. For a second there, I thought maybe Jazz might win that match. Honestly, I thought maybe he just had things going for him, and Mike was struggling a little bit by the time we got to this match. And the next matchup, you had Hank Powell winning in 2 sets against Larry Hughes. This was the best match I think that one single player played in the tournament this day. I think Hank against Larry was the best that anybody played. Hank literally played just absolutely perfect on Larry. Larry had no chance in this match at all. Now, on a normal day, I think that's a pretty good matchup, but on this specific day, Hank played perfect. Larry had no chance. So basically that would lead to the Hank versus Mike hot seat match. But Brandon, what do you think about the Final Four winner side, man?
I mean, for Larry Hughes to be your opponent, to actually give you a little bit of an easier match, says a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of give Hank a little bit of a break from what he had been facing.
Yeah, I mean, on paper.
And I think he obviously rode the momentum of the Renal match into that. But
on paper, Larry was the easiest match, I think.
Yes, on paper for sure.
Well, maybe Brian Francis.
I
don't know their Fargo, but
Either way, it was still a really tough road. I give Hank all the credit in the world for grinding through that the way he did.
Absolutely. I mean, seriously, bravo to Hank for doing what he did in this tournament. Pat, what do you think? Final Four winner side, man. It was pretty fun stuff, I think.
Yeah, very fun stuff. And just to let you guys know, Larry Hughes on paper is a 605. Brian Francis is a 614. LOL. LOL, Brian Francis. But no, I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier.
By the way, hold on. We have not mentioned this yet, but we should. Rest in peace to the Pope Francis. By the way. Yeah, it just made me think about it, because Brian's nickname is the Pope, and his last name is Francis. And we did have Pope Francis actually pass away today. So there you go. Rest in peace. I know we're not, y'all aren't big time Catholics, but still. Anyways, Pat, what?
Are you Catholic?
No, not at all. But still,
on paper.
Hey man, I just like to show my condolences. Man. Like, the guy's a big time person. He's
you can bleep that last thing I said out. I'm going to issue a public retraction right now.
I'm not. What am I, Muslim? I'm not Muslim either. But I, give a shout out to Muhammad Ali when he passed away. Like, am I not allowed to? Like, come on.
That doesn't seem like it's the same thing. But I see your point. No. I think I was going to say. I think it kind of goes back to the point I was making earlier on about Hank's game. I think, just like you guys said, he played almost a perfect match. Like, he peaked right then.
Yeah.
And then he had one of the toughest fields to get to where he got to. Because you talk about, he's got to play Brian Francis. That guy ain't no slouch. He's then got to go and play Clint Clark right after that, who's going to go play in the championship. He's arguably, you could argue that he's the second best player in the field. He then faces Runal. You could argue he's the second best player in the field. He faces Dam next, who is not a 605 Fargo at all. I don't care what this piece of paper says. And then just to come back around to play Mike Davis and Clint Clark again, I mean, that dude had the draw of all draws that day, bro. And he peaked at Dam, and then, he my opinion, he honestly he was playing better players.
Yeah.
Okay. Playing better players than himself. He would tell you that, no disrespect. But then also, these are two guys that as the night gets late, when it's 3-4 o'clock in the morning, they're going to be playing better pool, especially Mike Davis. So no, man, you got to be. I know Hank wants to win. I know he wants to win, but I also know that he is and he should be proud to finish third in this field and losing to those two guys. You could never hang your head down after losing to those two guys.
Man, with the draw that he had in this tournament to get third, you should definitely be happy. Let's move on. We go to the B side now. 7th place match. You get Ronald Bott winning in 3 sets against Chris Brower. So second time they played each other today. Second time they played on the stream. Second time Ronald beats him. Pat, explain to me. I know, Ronald on paper is the better player, but Chris has really been coming along here. Like we said, he's been cashing a lot lately. But why does he keep losing to Ronald?
Ronald's better later in crunch time situations right now. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. I think that I think Chris runs out of gas harder than other players run out of gas at that, at the later part of the tournament. Chris Clark or Chris Brower at 2 PM on Masters ain't missing, and it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean? On a weekend tournament at the pool series, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, he's probably already been up for a good little while. That tank empties out much harder than somebody else. So I think that's him. I think he's got to find a way to be able to increase his stamina, both physically and mentally, as the night goes on. I think that's going to be the key for him, as well as he's going to need some rolls. He's going to need Ronaldo to be missing and to get some rolls as well, if I'm being honest about it, for him to be able to overcome that. But it ain't impossible and it ain't improbable. He can do it.
I definitely think that's a good take on that for sure. Brandon, what do you think about Ronald and Chris playing?
I mean, Pat pretty much summed up the whole thing, but one thing I did notice is because Chris won the first set 3-0 rather quickly.
Yeah.
In that. And then once I saw Ronald win the second set 3-0, I knew that I knew that Chris was in trouble. And also, that's actually when Ronald started to really be himself, at least for that set, and started to play hard again because he had missed a lot of shots, giving Chris a lot of opening. I think Ronald got so mad that he matted himself into being good again. Like, throw caution to the wind. You've already played bad. Just go out and shoot and forget about it. And that's what he did. And he also didn't give Chris a lot of real opportunity after that.
Yeah.
So between playing safe and just running out.
I actually thought the way Ronald finished that match, I thought Ronald might be on his way to the finals. But sadly, he came up a little short. And let's talk about the finals. Let's talk about the hot seat match here. Mike Davis winning in 3 sets against Hank Powell. The fact that this went to 3 sets shows that Hank is a great player. But as I'm watching it, I'm not sure I ever thought that he was going to win this match. Like, I don't think I ever, even during the 3rd set, I was like, Mike's probably going to win. I think there's just something missing there, I think. And Mike obviously turns it up when it gets to the end of the tournament. But Brandon, I mean, you watched this match. What did you think about the hot seat match?
There's no weapon that Mike has that Hank doesn't have. This is not an execution thing. This is not a skill set thing. Not anymore. This is a complete mental grind. And when you have a man who's literally played professional pool for more than half of his life, they just know how to win in these situations.
Yeah.
Was Tom Brady the most talented football player? No, he's not. But did he know how to win better than anybody else? Yes. And that's what Mike Davis knows how to do anytime he's in events. He is the most seasoned veteran for a reason. And every time he comes out here, he's been showing why.
Yeah.
He just knows how to win these things.
He's a winner for sure. I mean, you don't get the
Yes.
nickname Mosconi Mike without being a champion.
100%.
Pat, give us your insight on the hot seat match.
I think that the only time that I thought Mike was at risk at losing a match was when Jazz went up on him 1-0.
Yeah.
I think Jazz was the one that had the best chance of beating Mike, even over Clint. Even over Clint. I think Jazz was the only one who, in my mind, made me think like, oh, Mike could lose. I also didn't feel that when he played against Hank, just because I've seen Mike go down the first set to a lot of people, better players, you know? And it's always like, okay, that's fine, but let's see how he responds. And I even think I said something to the effect of like he needs to come out and like reestablish, like get this break and run starting the second set. I can't remember if this was the match, but it feels like it was. Like he had to come out in that second set, get a break and run, and reestablish that confidence. I feel like he did that. And then it was like, okay, yeah, Mike can't lose in this thing, man. This is going to go to a third set. He's going to win set number 2. And then crunch time, set number 3, well, not for Mike, but like your A side on the line to get to the championship. Hot seat Mike Davis. It's like back in the day we used to talk about Joey Fox in the hot seat. We will never bet against Joey Fox in a hot seat match. Like he lives for it, and he's going to the jet. That's how I feel about Mike. Mike in a hot seat, he ain't losing that match, dog.
I agree for sure. Next, we turn our attention to the fourth place match where Clint Clark and Jazz McConney go to a third set with Clint pulling off the W. I think this could have been the match of the night, the match of the day. I feel like these two guys, I think both played really well. It's the youngster versus the veteran. I think this could be, something that we see for the next 10 years, maybe on the pool series if Jazz doesn't take his talents to, to a bigger level. But if he sticks around the pool series, I think him and Clint could be a good little rivalry almost, I think, for the next 10 years. Pat, what do you think about that fourth place match? Clint and Jazz going 3 sets.
I definitely argue that was the match of the tournament. You definitely could. It was such an exciting match, and it was one of those things. It was like you saw what experience, or how much further experience can take you. Because just like when Jazz was playing Thomas, how I noticed in the last rack that Thomas was the one that was kind of unraveling a little bit, really letting out that emotion. This time it was Jazz. Jazz was now showing a lot more negative body language, kind of slumping down in his chair a bit. Whereas I didn't see that in any of the other matches before. And Clint being Clint, running the business, waking up early, coming out there, as tired as he always is, that man always finds a gear later on in the night. Like he just finds these flashes where it looks like he just woke up, just got out of bed, and he looks fresh. So he knows how to go and dig deep and find that, that we talk about a lot, that tournament toughness. Clint has years of tournament toughness built up, and it showed in that match. And that's the reason why he was able to win. As Jazz gets older and Jazz starts getting that tournament toughness, it will be the antithesis. It'll be Jazz coming out on top, like you said, for like the next 10 years. We're gonna be able to watch some fun stuff from that guy.
Absolutely, 100%. Brandon, what do you think about that epic matchup?
I hope that Jazz pays homage to all of these guys in the next 10 to 15 years when he's better than all of them and winning all of these events and winning many other events, because this is how you get there. Jazz is a great player. He's really talented, especially at such a young age. You know who else was that good at that age? Adam Penley. So that should tell you something right there. Even though he has the capability and the talent to go a lot further than that if he sticks his mind to it. That was a great match. But like everybody's already said, watching the experience always trains up the youth. Sometimes when you're younger, you can look at a player like that, tighten up, tense up, feel a little bit of intimidation factor. It's just natural. That's why you have to learn how to get through it, and that's what's going to happen with Jazz. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. He's definitely going to get there, and I hope I get to watch it firsthand. Next up, we had the third place match with Clint Clark beating Hank Powell 2-0. I was kind of surprised this one didn't go 3 sets, honestly. I just feel like those two are always supposed to go 3 sets, but I think at this point, Clint's just in a roll. It looked like he was in stroke. It looked like he was just feeling comfortable. It looked like he was at the top of his game, and Hank just couldn't quite match that in this match. So, Brandon, I mean, what do you guys say about the semifinal match?
Revenge factors do play a big part. They really do. When you face the guy that you feel like you're supposed to beat, you face him a second time after losing to him. I know this from firsthand experience. There's players that I played in tournaments and I put them in the B side and then I see him down in the Final Four, and then they just throw the kitchen sink at him. That's kind of what happened here. You know, it was just Clint's time. Plus, it's like Pat said earlier, Clint just finds gears. He talks about being tired, but he just finds gears when it's time to find gears. And, you know, couldn't be happier for him. He played great in that match.
Absolutely, he really did. Pat, I mean, obviously you were sitting there right beside me when this match was going on. What did you think about it?
If I'm being real with you, bro, I don't remember too much from the match, but this is what I'll give you. I don't know how they feel about it, but for me, this is a rivalry that's building here. Okay.
Like,
This is carrying over from the first pool series event. I talk about this moment all the time because it's one of my favorite moments. Hank Powell, 3 fouls Clint Clark. And Clint Clark didn't realize or agreed for a minute that it was a 3 foul to all of us in the peanut gallery was like, yeah, bro, he just 3 fouled you. And it pissed him off and it catapulted him to that first fast action tournament win, right? Every time these guys match up on this table, it's a barn burner. The very first match they played early on in the day, it went to the hill. This one coming out, Clint Clark, that revenge factor, just like Brandon said. He finds that extra gear, and this is probably the moment that Hank didn't play his best game, right? I think we have a great rivalry brewing between these two guys. And if Clint can get out and play in more tournaments, which I know is very hard with him actually running the place, you know, Saturdays are usually the busiest days. This is something that I think if we ever have the chance to put them on stream, we got to put them on stream.
Agreed. I 100% agree. I would love to watch them play every single tournament that we have. Another match that I kind of like to watch is what we had in the finals with Mike Davis and Clint Clark. Obviously, Clint needed a double dip Mike, but Mike made sure to end it in the first round for the first set with Mike winning 2-1. I honestly thought it was going to go to a second match. I really thought Clint had it. Clint started off strong. Mike just found a way to win, honestly. Like, I really don't know what to say. But I will say that this was a must watch. You guys do need to get on YouTube and make sure you watch this match. Pat, you were there with me, side by side, me, you, and Brian Francis. We're sitting there front row. I mean, what was going through your head as you were watching these two guys battle it out?
I hope to God Clint doesn't beat Mike in the first one. That's what was going through my mind.
You were ready
it was
for
like it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was walking around delirious from exhaustion. But to your point, bro, I misspoke earlier. I also thought I was real scared that Clint was going to win at least the first one. I didn't think there was a chance Mike got double dipped. But I
No.
did think that there was a chance that we were going to see them play a grand finals and go to a second match there just because of how well Clint seemed to be playing early on in the match. But Mike Davis, I know you're going to watch this because you always comment on it, say how good of a job we do. You're welcome. But thank you, my guy. Thank you for doing what you needed to do to end the night. Clint, next time, bro. Love you. But thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. I actually got in bed by 5 o'clock that morning, so I appreciate you.
Nice. Lucky you. Brandon, did you stay up and watch it? And what's your thoughts on it?
No, I caught some highlights though. I watched it the next day just because I just couldn't do it. So I did catch some highlights. I'm running out of things to say about Mike and his performances. But I actually will say this.
Actually, hold on. I think whatever you're about to say during our next tournament, because Mike will probably just win the next tournament. I'm just going to replay exactly what you said here, and then just save ourselves some time from doing the show.
Here's the difference I found with this tournament compared to other tournaments I'm watching. He's winning differently now.
Yeah.
He's not, I mean, like the Mike I saw 10 to 15 years ago would just run rack after rack after rack after rack. And now he's playing every shot more conservative, not every shot, but the harder shots more conservative. And he is just finding ways to nip and tuck and win these matches. You know, he's not, is he winning them pretty? No. But is he getting them done because he's a winner and he's a professional and that's just what he does?
Yeah.
Yes. That's why.
Yeah, that's what champions do. They find ways to keep on winning. I mean, you know, you got to change up your game to do what you're doing. And, you know, he came out on top and it was a fun tournament. We had a lot of good matches on stream. Our last segment of the show, we're going to talk about Pat Dixon's tournament and how he did, because he did get to play. He did make it 4 rounds, played 4 matches, lost first round to Bruce Campbell 2-0, beats Lee Steelman 2-0, beats William Wood 2-0, then loses to Clint Clark 2-0. Never saw a third set. And honestly, the tournament probably went as expected. You lost the 2 matches you're probably heavily underdog in, and you won, probably 2 matches where maybe your favorite or at least a toss-up in. So, I mean, shout out to Woody, though. I thought Woody was going to make a run out there winning his first round, so you put a stop to that. But, Brandon, what do you think about Pat's tournament there?
I remember the 24th through 32nd and the 17th through 24th Pat many, many times in our past. And now I keep seeing it get higher and higher, like we told you it would.
Yeah.
You got to keep building it. Keep building it 1% each day, and you'll get there.
Yes, for sure. Definitely.
Very proud of you. And Justin said, yes, it was chalk, but you know what? You did your job when you had to, and with the other 2 opponents, maybe you learned something.
Yes, for sure. Pat, tell us about your tournament, man.
Hear that, Woody? Come get some. Can't stop me. Okay? Figure it out, guy. Just kidding. Just kidding. I love Woody. I'm just kidding. No, I have nothing but good things to say for myself, honestly, for this tournament. The biggest thing for me, I wasn't going in trying to, like, for real, trying to beat everybody or win or go far. I wanted to make sure that I kept the mental straight at all times. I was never too high on myself. I was never too low on myself. I didn't make good shots. I didn't make bad shots. I just shot. Against Bruce Campbell, I actually had a real chance to beat him. I think the very first set we went to the hill, it was 2-2. I think I ended up making a mistake. What's interesting about the very first set, though, the very first rack, he 3-fouled me from some accidental craziness that happened. I think I broke and I scratched on the break, and then he ended up playing some defense, and I kicked around and made a good hit, but scratched in the pocket and did it a third time. So he got like an accidental 3-foul. The next rack comes around, and then I purposely 3-fouled him to win my rack. And then we just kind of fought it out. And then the second rack starts. And that's when Bruce started to play more like himself. I don't even think he was really playing in his his true potential, his true level of play at any point during our match. So it was really close because of that. And then against both Lee and Woody, it was kind of the same thing. I think I was I don't think I was an underdog on that. I think I was the favorite in both of those. Me and Woody are definitely a lot closer, but it was one of those things. I didn't have any expectations. I just kind of went out there, just relaxed, had fun. And I was playing pretty well, at least for myself against those 2 matches, but especially against Woody, because I knew Woody was going to be a stronger opponent than what Lee was giving me, because Woody's been putting in a lot of work and he's been playing a whole lot better since we've seen him come out. And it said 2-0, but our match was close as well. And then against Clint, that match was closer than you think. It was closer than you think against me and Clint, dog. I really thought that match, at the very least, it should have gone to. That's the one that should have gone to a third set. Out of all 4 of them, that's probably the one that should have gone to a third set. I think against Thomas, I could have won that one 2-0, even though the matches would have been the sets would have been close. But against Clint, if I would have won it, I think at least I should have got a rack off of Clint. I made a couple of mistakes late. I think me and him went to the hill in the very first set too. I think I had him down 2-1 at one point in the first set, and then he came back and he won the next 2 racks. And then in the second set, it was more like 3-0 or 3-1 or something like that in set number 2. But I think overall I was playing very, very well, and I think my mental game was even better than any tournament that I played in so far. So I was happy about that.
Well, good. I definitely like to hear that. Keep improving. I mean, obviously you got to get a little better draw, but definitely sounds like you're playing good. Let's talk about the future coming up. Let's talk about that future. We got May 10th. We're going to be at Brass Tap in Raleigh. Pat, just real quick, are you excited to go there? You missed the first one there this year.
Can't wait to get up there again, man. The first time I went up there, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Way back when. all the big dogs came out. I'm hoping them big dogs come back out again. That's the one I need a little bit of retribution. I want to have a little bit of a better showing. You want to talk about a bad draw? I was either going to get Guama in that first one, or I was going to get Josh Roberts, and I ended up with Josh Roberts, and I think I saw 3 balls.
All right.
I'd
Sounds
like to
like
have a better showing this time, but I'm very excited to get back to Brass Taps, man. They got a great place.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Brandon, what do you think about the Brass Tap tournament, man?
It's my favorite one to watch for sure
Nice.
because that's when all the killers come out.
Absolutely.
The consistency throughout the Raleigh area is unbelievable.
Yes.
You know, when they say North Carolina is one of the best states for
They're talking
pulling,
about Raleigh.
majority of it as a whole, absolutely. So it's going to be fun to watch that. Like I said, I hope, you know, Corey, Guama, Josh, Mike Davis, all the killers, I hope they all come out to play.
Absolutely.
It's
And
great
then,
to watch.
and then the very next weekend after that, May 17th, we're at Sticks and Stones, our one bar box event of the year. That's going to be a lot of fun. Brandon, what do you think about that tournament?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
See, every time we have a bar box event, it's always interesting. Like I said, you'll see a ton of upsets, but at the same time, you also see your usual suspects down there at the end.
Absolutely, for sure. Pat, are you excited for the Sticks and Stones tournament?
Yeah, Sticks and Stones is one of my favorite locations, man. I got a really good relationship with them. I love the place, the food. The staff are so amazing. So I'm very happy that we're finally getting into Sticks and Stones and doing a tournament out there. Just like Brandon said, man, it's going to be real interesting to see how all these 9-foot killers play on the 7-foot bar boxes. So it's going to make for some interesting storylines. I think we might see a lot of surprises because of that bar box.
I agree. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Y'all get signed up for both tournaments. We do got a couple of spots left for each of them. Look on the flyers on Facebook for how to sign up. Contact me. Contact the pool series. Next up, let's mention the points series the points standings really quick. Mike Davis comfortably in first place. I mean, Pat? What do you think about the points? I mean, do you think at this point in time? I mean, I know we're only 6 events in, but I mean, is anybody going to catch Mike?
No. Next question.
All right, there we go. I think you speak for everybody. Brandon, I mean, looking at the points, I mean, what do you
just
thinking?
revert back to Pat's exact answer
Yes.
just
All right.
now because it's nothing. It's one word. Keep it moving.
Love it. Guys.
Yes, winning.
Yes, guys. This was a fun show. This was a fun tournament. Brandon, what's your last thoughts?
The last thoughts are I can't wait to get back and do more of this. I missed you guys.
Yes, and we missed you as well. Pat, what's your last thoughts for the show?
Brandon, I'm so glad to see you, bro. I missed you so much, man. Hope everything's going well in your life, bro. Hope the job, you're just crushing it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I told you I sure didn't miss you guys up there when I was watching the stream. But, you know, right reasons first.
Absolutely. We understand. Guys, this has been a fun show. TPS Reports, the Pool Series podcast. Y'all go follow the Pool Series on Facebook. Follow the Pool Series on YouTube. Hit like, subscribe, follow, all that jazz. Y'all know what to do. You've done it before. And until then, until next time, we'll check you later.